Medical Center. I've been asked today to talk about something that is not my core expertise, but I do work a lot on this topic with the governor, with other groups, with my colleagues at the university, Dr. Surat at Chiang. So I think I've got a fairly good overview and perspective. So I agreed to chip in because but we can ask more detailed questions to my colleagues if you have something. And so you see me avoiding a little bit what I'm talking about because mentioning it, because I woke up this morning and beautiful sky, almost no clouds, perfect weather, and I thought, you know, this is beautiful Chiang Mai. So what these guys, they want me to talk about the burning session and the season and smoke and all that. What is it about? I'm saying it this way because it has been a little bit of a sad joke or irritation, less so this year, but in the past years, of us forgetting that there's a serious smog problem in Chiang Mai. So comes September, October, and now October, then the problem seems to be almost forgotten. We have, this doesn't show here. Anybody know how to up here? Technical?
It should be. You pressed the wrong button.
Okay, one more time. Okay, thanks. So this is the air quality index today. So, or last night. So it's blue today. I think it's a little bit more green because that was late at night, so it tends to be better at the late night. So it's a pretty good air quality index, pretty good sky, good air quality. So, as I said, what are we talking about? You know, it's great weather, great air quality in Chiang Mai. Bangkok is worse now. But who has not been here in March, April this year? Hands up, who has not been here? So there are a few people who may have heard about what I'm talking about, but they haven't quite experienced it. You know, it's not funny, but I mean, it's just trying to give it a little bit entertaining talk about a serious topic. This is what we're talking about. Early January, most of the year, pretty good sky. Then comes February, the burning begins. What burns? Burning of corn for animal feed. It's a different corn than we eat. And it's been planted massively over northern Thailand in our neighboring country. So that's being burned. And also, and then in, sorry, some of it is in Thai, but then here, this is a period when burning is banned. No burning is allowed. Government issues it. But it's too late, as you can see. 26th of March this year, the visibility, the air pollution is really high. And it actually continued a little bit into May this year, which was a first. Normally in May, you can tell people May is okay again. This year, they actually had to extend the burning ban a little bit. Now, in March, April, because of the burning ban, the big cornfields have burned already. Don't burn because it's too visible, too dangerous. But this year we had another reason. Forest fires increased. We always had forest fires, but this year it contributed more to the air pollution than probably previous years. There's a number of factors. There's also global warming and other factors that contribute, you know, drier climate, drier air, so that can also make things worse. Air pressure, you know, low and high pressure fields. So we had a pretty nasty situation. This indicator on showed 570. Normally the sensors stop at 500, so this must have been one that goes beyond that. But normally 500 is really, really bad, and we had that. To the extent that people said, some days you said 200, and oh, 200. Sad joke, isn't it? But 200, you didn't get worried about it anymore. Like Bangkokians, 200, they were up in arms. They were talking about getting air filters for all the schools this year again. But here in Chiang Mai, we had this very high levels of air pollution for a certain period of time, so that people felt, I know for myself and around us, you know, it's 200, 250, and well, at least it's not over 400. It's not dark purple. Actually, normally it's dark purple on most indicators if it's this high. So we had really, really high quality. How do you know this? Well, now we have these websites and tools. We have a tool, we have a demo unit there in the middle, which I explained, and there's a small air quality sensor inside a plastic box there on the table, where you can see the air quality in here. And we're doing a little experiment that I show you later, and you can check it again on the way out. So now we have the online, and if you buy the sensor, also the tools to check. Because in the past, the debate wasn't so much about PM 2.5, and the data wasn't available. So people weren't so worried about it. But now we do, and we see how bad it is. We also understand that the real risk is not the slightly larger particles, it is this one. PM 2.5 is a measure of size. And I have something to show you about the size that we're talking about. So we now have the information. You can check it yourself on your mobile phone, and there are different websites. Some measure in the last hour, which can be quite useful if you are in the area where the sensor is, because if normally it's a 24-hour average, but what you want to know sometimes in the area that you are, what is it now in the last 2 or 3 hours, because depending where you live, sometimes there's a significant local variation. So these are the fires that were happening in northern Thailand. Unfortunately, we live in a valley, so it's even more contained. So if we have burning in northern Thailand around Chiang Mai, it kind of also stays more. And if it goes, we also get winds from neighboring countries where more and more of that corn is now being planted. I'm not going to talk so much about how to solve the problem. It's a complex problem, but I'm talking more about how it affects you and what you can do. But sadly, it's not a new problem. I organized TED Talks, TEDx Chiang Mai, and I had a speaker, Panaru, who was an activist in environmentalist, and he wanted to talk about Chiang Mai people are no longer willing to put up with it, and we are not forgetting it in the middle of the year when we had the good air qualities. And I brought these slides. This is from 2007, when there was a local newspaper and had an article, and he submitted something to the government. So some people here have been raising this issue, this concern, but it just got worse in the last few years. So this is Chiang Mai being at the most polluted city in the world for some time, regularly during those 2 months. This is the scale for air pollution. So if it's up to 50, 100, it's still okay. But beyond that, the risk for more and more type of population groups increases, right? So certain risk groups, like if you have asthma or you had a stroke, and you might have it. So what we're talking about is this really tiny particle. So you have a sand corn, you have a human hair, you have PM10, which is what until 3-4 years ago was most focused about. But now everybody moved on and said PM 2.5 is a real danger, because it's so small, it goes everywhere into your body. So this is the rest. Now, it's not just Thailand, it's happening everywhere around the world, and it's also, increasingly WHO and so is identifying it as a significant silent killer. And there are different, about 7 million deaths caused by it. I think it's quite difficult to estimate it. And one of the reasons is, and I added this picture here, the cigarette, there are immediate effects on some people, particularly if it gets as bad as in Chiang Mai. But generally, it is a health impact that could take years to materialize. And you probably have friends, maybe some of you yourself, you smoke and you're fine. Some people are lucky they can smoke all their life and they're fine. But statistically, it is very clear that if you smoke, your chances of cancer are significantly higher, your life expectancy goes down. So the people are a bit like global warming, that sort of say, well, is it really that, there's some people that are denying or watering down the health effects of air pollution. It is because most of it is a long-term effect, and it's a statistical kind of thing, right? So but you know that can really reduce the life expectancy and it can create significant risk. I was at a tech summit in Edinburgh, and this lady, she's the head of public health from the WHO, was speaking that until recently, most focused on lung issues, like asthma, lung cancer, and then the heart. But our understanding has evolved now of the impact of air pollution, and it has a significant impact on the brain as well. And in fact, most parts of the body can be affected because these particles are so tiny, right? So she was saying that, it's not just, it's a brain impact. And you can see that from this slide from my colleague, Dr. Sawat, who's a neurologist. And, he was saying basically, until recently people thought it goes into the lung, and then from the lung it goes to the rest of the body, and the lung is the main organ. No, it's through your nose. The soft tissue can go straight into your brain and the rest of your body. So it has a shortcut. Sounds scary, doesn't it? But it's not good because it can create inflammation and it can contribute to higher risk of stroke, increased risk of dementia, dizziness, and all sorts of things. So the brain is one of the organs that is badly affected. So here are some of the. I think it's number one, it's the lungs, the lung cancer, lung issues, asthma. Then the number two is the heart, the brain, and now they're also discovering that if you're pregnant, the 30s in your so then could also have certain deformations and so. So what I don't know is what is worse if you have 2 or 3 months. I want to ask my doctor colleagues about this. If you have 2 or 3 months of bad air, but the rest is pretty good. I had this argument before, I haven't found the answer yet. 2 or 3 months of bad air in Chiang Mai. And we take certain precautions, but I'll talk about what you can do. With living in Bangkok, I just had this friend that I met on Sathorn Road. He was saying one of the reasons he moved to Bangkok is because of the air pollution and others, like logistics and so on. But living on Sathorn Road is pretty bad air throughout the whole year. So I don't know what the difference is, but I'm sure that if you're in a high-risk population segment, that the very, very high values, I think that is, you say something to worry about. Who's high risk? Most of you are, on average, in a higher risk group because of age, but then also because of maybe higher risk of stroke, maybe asthma, if you have asthma, small children. So there are certain groups. So you should go and see a doctor if you think that maybe. What you can do, whether you should move, if you can, maybe those times of the year. I know a lot of people try to not be in Chiang Mai. I'll talk a little bit more. That's a personal choice. Some people have that choice, have that option. Some people don't. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about if you stay in Chiang Mai, if you can, or if you can only leave for a couple of weeks during the worst period, but the rest you have to be here, because now it's kind of long, 2 months, then what can you do? Well, first you can access this information and see, what is it today and in my area, so it goes down the census, the different websites for this. Then there are devices. Some devices now come with the air filters, with the equipment. And I've got one in the plastic box there from a local guy, not from Chiang Mai Makerspace. He makes them and sells them because it's kind of like putting knowledge into your hands, right? And also, this device is useful because you know exactly what it's like. It's also great if you have groups, maybe just buy one, but you can use it to convince friends. One very frequent argument we come across this: oh, I have a great garden and I stay inside. I'm sorry, great garden staying inside doesn't help after a month. It's the same. We've measured it here, I measured it in my home. I remember one day in my study, and I looked into the garden, and it looked fantastic there. Then I got my AQI sensor out, and it was something like 300, really bad. So I thought after work, so I've got my filter into the study from another room, my air filter, and it took the filter almost 2 hours to get to a reasonable level because it was so high in my study. Now, if you have better insulations of the windows, and so it might be faster, and so my windows are a bit old. But so having this can be great tool to also raise awareness amongst friends that in their house, wherever they go, they have to protect. Now, what is the #1 protection, apart from the equipment that actually, I want to focus on this, is the N95 mask. There are lots of masks around now. The M3M masks, they're normally used for spray painting, industrial jobs, you know, because the particles are so small, so you can buy them at Home Depot. But they are not very good masks to wear for a long time, because they're just kind of like if you forgot yours and you need to get one. So I recommend to get good masks that cost a little bit of money. Some of them are washable, some of them are not, so read the instructions carefully, and some of them have also replacement filters, so you can change the layer that filters out these very, very fine particles. You can change the layer, and some say they are also washable. So get a mask that fits well. And the other thing is, well, I was talking about inside, outside is the same. So and this is one of the most annoying things, is that in general people are not aware that they may need to wear these masks inside as well. Now, that doesn't sound like a pretty good situation for living in Chiang Mai, and it depends on you, but certainly if you are in these higher risk groups, you have stroke, you have asthma, or something like that, then it might be very advisable. And I see government officials working in offices without any air conditioning, and that can help a little bit, and they don't wear masks. So we need to increase the awareness to wear the mask all the time. And some of them are fairly comfortable. Those that have ideally 2 valves, they release the moisture of your breath. So you actually can breathe kind of not so bad actually. We were asked about sports, and this is interesting. One comment was that if you restrict, like Dr. Langsit, I don't know, some of you might know, he's a heart doctor at Chiang Mai University and also environmentalist. He was saying on his Facebook page, I gained 2 or 3 kilos in the last 2 months because I stopped exercising outside. Now, what I was reading is that for certain types of health profiles and so, if you have a mask and if you do it within measure, it may still be better to continue some exercise. Maybe not on the worst days, but no exercise can also be as a balancing act for most of us. To exercise is just so good for the body, right? So that you try to find some ways of doing exercise, maybe with a mask. Don't completely stop it, but avoid the worst days. So I talked about the importance of masks. So what else can you do? Well, you can create safe zones, right? And safe zones are that box inside there with lit in its sense stick. So inside there should be now something like an air quality of 500. Really bad. You don't want to breathe that air. But having that filter in there, my staff will do it now, and I will do it again later. Those that sitting close, you might see that the sensor will go down to really low, 0 or something like. It's a little old from last year, but it should go clear the air very well. So that's a demonstration unit that we have in our clinic and other places to convey the idea that in key rooms in your house, in your office, or elsewhere, and we're talking also about schools, in the classrooms and in the canteen, brings these filters. Buy them now, because they come January, they'll be sold out sometimes, right? And then if Bangkok had, Bangkok first all the time, so Bangkok gets them first and we get second, so you might have to invest in some now. I heard that there might be another talk about the right filters and so think that some people here might be involved in that, I don't know, but my own perspective is, if your main issue is the PM 2.5, right, this kind of pollution, you're not allergic to other things, you're really just worried about the effects of the burning, then I think a normal, it's called a HEPA filter, is enough. This is a HEPA filter, so it has a 2 layers and a very detailed filter that is good enough for 2.5. This is enough, and they cost between 5,000 and 8,000 baht. There are filters, great filters, that cost you 10,000, 15,000 baht or more. If you are worried about general air quality in other ways, allergies and so on, they may be necessary. They're good, most of them. But for this particular problem here, this should be enough, this price range, 5,000 to 8,000 baht. If you're a little bit of a handy person, there are now people at my faculty of engineering and others that have done the do-it-yourself kits. It's actually not so difficult to build a decent enough air filter. Getting the filter and then putting it together can be just a couple of thousand baht or less. So this is something that if you're handy, but like me, I have 2 left hands, so I use this, the Chinese, the Xiaomi or the Atari that is quite popular in Thailand. Should be enough, and does the job. And depending on your room size, you may need a bigger unit or you need 2 of them, but this helps. But I think it's kind of ridiculous to live in Chiang Mai, you have to buy this at this cost. So maybe some of you want to explore the do-it-yourself option to not spend all that money. There's also a layer that you can put into air conditioned filtrets. Have somebody tried this in their air conditioning unit? So you buy this material from 3M and then you put it inside the air conditioner. It also filters. I would try it, but I've seen mixed results in some places. Probably it's too much space between the air being sucked in, and so it doesn't all go through that filter. But this does normally the job. This machine, put it on for 2 hours before you go to bed, and you have a very good sleep in the safe zone. Yeah, I had the mask already. And as I was just saying before Q&A time, my last slide, sometimes foreigners here say, local people don't care about it. We don't see it. And I mentioned that it's been a problem since 2007. More and more people do care about it. There are a lot of discussions, there's more action plans, and I think some of them are beginning to really get some grip. And next year probably still not be so good, because just because we didn't have we had a bit of a void of the government for a year, so we just now had a government, and that before was an acting one. So a number of factors contributed to it. But local people do care, and more people know. So it's not like they don't. And if I haven't answered any of your questions on the medical side or in general, I think I might have can take 2 or 3. I'll be hanging around after this session in the lobby as well, or you can drop me an email and I get the answer for you, because I'm in that network of doctors and policymakers, technicians. So happy to find out for you. Thank you. Questions?
I have a question. I live out in the country, north of Ampersand side, and the farmers continue to...
And I hear you because of the air conditioning.
I live north of Ampersand side, closer to Doi Saket. Even during the burning season, we still had farmers burning. Back in the States, there was a number we could call to get assistance, to get somebody to react. But is there such a program here that we can get assistance when farmers just continue to burn?
There is, and there's also a number that you will see sometimes on these billboards and vinyls, or also online. Last year was a particular, but still this year, the last cycle, was probably a particularly bad year in terms of enforcement because of political reasons and so forth. So, but there is a number, and also most of the action plan findings are also now talking more about working with local communities. So to give them tools to do something preventive, or also to raise the awareness that they should report the fires.
Just one thing. I have a PM 2.5 meter, yeah, and I discovered that I drive a Ford Focus, just a modest price car. When I get in it, even though it might be 200 outside, when I've been driving it for a little while with the aircon on, then the filter removes it all, and I'm down to 30. Good news. Buy a Ford Focus, they're wonderful.
Actually, I forgot to mention the safe zone. So, hypothetically, if you could, the car is a safe zone. Most cars, because of the fumes, have very good filters, but obviously it's not a very sustainable. But wearing masks outside and so in the car, you don't have to wear a mask probably because of the car's filter. Good news.
Do we have one last question?
Well, I'm sorry, I might take a few minutes over this.
We have no more questions.
As many friends here know, I have lived in Chiang for the last 23 years, so I know a little bit about what goes on around here. 4 years ago, I left the city and moved 50 kilometers south, and I live in a village, a typical Thai village of about 300 people. They've assured me, they have no problem with the atmosphere where they live, because they have it beaten.
They have what?
They have it beaten. I asked them how this happens, and this is what they do every year. The 300 odd people in the village have about 2 generations. There are most cottages in the village have 3 generations of people. 2 generations ago, the entire village came to an agreement that on one particular day in the year, they would burn their rubbish. So they pile they still do. They pile every bit of rubbish, nothing gets burned. But even the rubbish holds old motor car tires and all apart from or anything around the farmland. But once a year, everybody comes out, if it's not raining, at 8 o'clock on that morning and puts a match to their fire. Then they rush inside, close all the windows and doors, and only one time in the year that they have any problem about atmosphere. They're still doing it now.
Thanks, Warren. Just a couple of announcements. We'll get you out of here. Bangkok Hospital has its first annual International Veterans Recognition Day, celebrating the service of all international military veterans, their families, their friends, and their guests. It's November the 7th from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. on the 4th floor